Hey, how's everybody doing? You see that big State of the Union address? Yeah, what is the State of the Union now? In my estimation, not promising, not good. The feelings I came away with were depressing to say the least. But it's not a new depression. It's a feeling of emptiness. Ever since I think it started when Obama was in his second term, midterm, when I realized he was just going to do nothing pretty much through his lame duck twaddle, and I knew we were on a downward trajectory as a nation right then and there. And Trump is more or less the full extension, the culmination of every line of bullshit ever sold in this bullshit country. He stands for nothing and nobody. I'm not talking to the supporters. They might as well be living on Mars. Not that they could afford to move there. As many of you are gonna probably slip into an oxycoma on the couch watching ice trucker whale hunting reruns on Discovery, or Jesus versus Hitler versus UFOs on History, another ruse this country's fallen for, hook, line, and sinker. What did you expect, though? You know, nowadays there's such a fine line between guided and misguided rage, and here at Ragewin we try and keep the rage thoroughly guided or directed at the right people. Perhaps the funniest gaffe of the whole speech was Trump's unbridled fervor for coal, or as he describes it, beautiful, clean coal. You know, what better way to polish a turd than to glorify an outdated, filthy energy source? Do the coal miners actually buy this shit as they hack up tar in the toilet while their wife's doing the graveyard shift at the titty bar so she can buy diapers for her opiate-addicted parents? You know? Yeah, my workplace is sterile as a hospital. Fuck you, Trump. I hope you see just how thoroughly you're being fucked here if you supported him before. Wake up. Meanwhile, a lot of flag-waving, military-flating, immigrant-bashing horseshit ensued in the speech. And it's not even the argument for border security that I have a problem with. A few Mexicans who got lost on their way to the drugstore at the border, they're about as threatening as a tasty burrito. Islam, that's a different story. That's a different beast that's got to be dealt with differently. Some immigrants need more vetting than others, depending on where they come from, and that has nothing to do with race. It has to do with reality. But neither party is ever going to have a nuanced discussion. I know that, because they never represented us in the first place. That's not what they're there for. The Republicans are there to push these tax cuts and everything that caters to the wealthy, and the Democrats are there to cover their ass, you know, and to hush the masses and say, hey, we got your back. But most of us by now should know better. What I was triggered by most in the speech, if only for a second, was the way Trump brought in the parents of a girl who was killed by a gang. And this gang is known as MS-13, which sounds like a fucking Microsoft program, but it's not. It's a gang that happens to be comprised of illegal immigrants. That's a pretty broad brushstroke to paint with, don't you think? I could give a shit what the citizenship of any killer might be. What sets these criminals apart from all the natural-born gangs that are already ruining our ghettos? Well, not ruining, but they're already kind of fucking ruined. But what does this have to do with immigration? Nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm being so disrespectful of President Trump and his party by requesting that they make fucking sense of their arguments. Now, this is the same bullshit conservative authoritarian agenda that we've been spoon-fed since the AIDS craze. That's exactly what it is. And the worst part of this speech is that it's just so fucking dull. Flat, devoid of purpose, and deeply troubled. Kinda like Melania. The poor thing. Someone just give her some heroin already so she can slip away like the rest of us in the greatest fucking country in the world. Yeah, okay, Trump. Kiss my dick, Wart, you hostess, snowball pig motherfucker. Piece of shit. You know, I just find it incredible that this is the state of the world we're living in. And it's fun. I gotta say, it's fun. If you just relieve yourself of the burden of having to give a fuck, which I suggest you do, then, you know, you can actually observe from a detached perspective and judge fairly. I think that's important. And to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed in the way that journalists have been criticizing Trump. When it comes to criticizing this president, CNN has done a lackluster job at best. All this time they've wasted on bad tweets and offhand remarks. They've skimmed over one crucial piece of gold. They never talk about how Trump is banging his daughter. They never touched upon that. Not once. And Trump insinuates it all the time. He goes on talk shows. He's on The View. Hey, if she wasn't my daughter, yeah, I'd be dating her. People say, why does Melania look like a hostage? She's not a hostage. She's jealous. Ivanka's getting all that attention, the back rubs when she needs it the most, and Melania's the cover-up for it. Imagine having that as your job. That is her job. Covering for Trump while he goes to fuck his daughter. She probably hasn't gotten any attention in who knows how long, which I guess is a positive, depending on how the women in Trump's life have seen it. I wouldn't dare go there. I couldn't even fucking imagine. Donald comes up to her, like, I'll just be at a meeting late tonight, baby. Give me a kiss. Ugh. Yeah, you try filling in her shoes for a month. You might go a little batty-eyed. It's also funny because rich people tend to have some pretty incestuous histories. It was long the practice of many aristocrats, especially in the South, to keep their genes pure of any outsider DNA. England too, Europe, all that shit. But Trump should just come clean already. Right on Ivanka's chin. That's right. That should be his next campaign ad. You know, the Trump sex tape? That'll get some eyes turning. And some dicks turning too. It would have to be POV, though, because you don't want to see what's on the other side of the camera. Ivanka wearing the Make America Great Again hat, making campaign promises in between thrusts. Creating jobs for hardworking coal miners. Protecting the sanctity of life. Yes, fuck me, daddy. Yeah, I get a little carried away. But that's how you get under a president's skin, you fucking loser journalists. For all the time you wasted on the Russia scandal, a scandal with as much credible evidence as Bigfoot's long-lost son, you could have painted Donald Trump as the fat daughter-fucking president, and his voters would still love him. And that would be hilarious. I mean, you won't even call him out for being fat. Come on, get real, CNN. This is a no-brainer, guys. Well, that's all the time I have for now. I'm gonna go smoke me a cigarette, coat my lungs, keep them warm for the winter. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Steemit, DTube, Facebook, Twitter, yada yada yada, all in the links below. Until next time, let's keep on raging for the win! Let's go!